Krishna. Welcome everyone for our Sunday feast lecture. This is the last Sunday feast for the year. We'll be seeing you the next year, next Sunday. And I was asked to discuss on the topic of karma, the most misunderstood verse in the Bhgavad Gita about karma. We'll just take that and then discuss something on karma. Karmanyevadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbur Mate sangostva karmani. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the result of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty. How many of you here have questions about what is happening to me? Is it my quota or someone else's quota? Some injustice, some insult, sometimes some success. You wonder, what did I do to get this success? Like sometimes students, they wonder that, itna marks kaise aa gaya mujhe? There was one student in our that I knew. He was so confident that I cannot get these marks that he actually went to the principal and told, "Sir, these are not my marks." And the principal said, "Mil gaya to bhi, what is your problem?" He said, "No, this is my father will increase, expectations will increase. So I don't want my father's expectations to increase. I want. Please check." Then they checked, and it was true that they were not his marks. There was an interchange, Excel mistake. Although the name is Excel, sometimes there is some kind of mistake in that. So when it comes to life, we all want to know about what are the fun days, what are the hidden secrets. By knowing that, we can crack life, or we can get through very easily. Like if you ever go to any city or any town that is very complicated, like Varanasi, it is said that even Google could not map Varanasi streets. They are so complicated. Sometimes the rickshawala in Varanasi himself gets confused. Where is the destination? But those who know the fun day or the secrets to life, to them, life becomes very easy to handle, or they know what to do. And in modern education, a lot of emphasis is given to critical thinking ability. Those who have given bank exams or any kind of interviews, they always check for your critical thinking capacity. There are also so many courses. But what the Bhagavad Gita gives us is the crisis handling ability. There is critical thinking ability, but there is crisis handling ability. And if you don't have this, then no matter how intelligent you are, critically think, but at the times of crisis, then you break down. Therefore, there is a survey that is done that usually those who are academically smart, they get the best of the top ranks, top marks in their education. And if you compare them to their job career, they are not career smart. They are not at the top of their career. पढ़ाई में but they were top, but in career they are not top. And then they found out that some are career smart, but they are not family smart. Their family is in total shambles, because at work some other capabilities are needed, and at home you can't use those same politics at home. And to be happy, that also needs another type of intelligence or ability. And all through, like when I was trying to study and get into IIT, everybody was into this fun days. How to crack the exam? What are the fun days about? And it is good, it is important to know what are the fun days. Like they say, if you want to catch a bus in India or in Bombay, and the bus is supposed to be at 5:30 p.m. If you reach at 5:30 p.m., you will find out that the bus has already left 5 minutes back. And if you want to know the traffic fun day, the more late you are, the more you will face red stops, red signals. So like this, there are many fun days about different things. There is also fun days about the campus here. If you want to get prasadam, then before you come and take darshan of the Lord, there is one devotee sitting there. सब भगवान के पास यहाँ पे जाए ना जाए, सब वहाँ पे तो पास तक जाते, because that पर्ची, and those who come generally new first time or they don't know, they attend the class, kirtan, and then the line is there, prasadam line, and nobody tells anything. We don't announce that you need to take, of course today you may be conscious, but when you go to the prasadam gate, one of the devotees there is standing and is asking, where is your coupon? So what coupon? Bus coupon, chappal coupon, which coupon? Your prasadam coupon. Where is it available? It was available up, but not now. I think only till 1:15 or 1:30 that coupon is given. After that it's not given. So, and what some devotees do is they take extra coupons and keep. In case next time they come late, they can use that. So for that our kitchen also has changed their strategy. Every week different color coupon is there, so that they don't use the last week's coupon or before this week's coupon. So everywhere you need to understand what is a fun day, how does it operate. And once you know how it operates, it's easy to live. And especially this concept of karma, it's not that we don't face karma. Karma is a fabric on which our lives are led. And unless we understand this karma, many have this very disturbing questions about life. So let me just take some questions about life. And this is a part of the journey of self-discovery course that we do. And I'm not taking the whole thing because the whole thing is quite elaborate and big. Just few aspects I'll be covering. So some unanswered questions about life we all wonder. Now when I put this on, if you agree that these were the questions that are there before you came, or even now, you can raise your hands. Why is this person in my life? How come this wife or this children, यही बेटा मुझे क्यों हुआ या यही बेटी. Different, we all have somebody in our life that just doesn't allow us to be peaceful. For everything we do, they'll find some mistake and they'll have different expectations or different ways of correcting us, which we may not like. So all of us are interacting with a set of individuals. We may all want to be the citizens of some other country instead of India, but we are now born in India. For some it is fortune, and for some it is unfortune. There are a growing number of NRIs in India, those who want to quit India, non-resident Indians. But it is said there is a greater number of RNIs in India. What is RNI? Resident non-Indian. He is residing in India, but his lifestyle, his way of thinking is totally American. I know of students that identify themselves with Barcelona, Liverpool, and Manchester United, never seen in their life except on TV. But they so much identify with that. And this RNI, why it is happening? Because we think that we have something that is lower than what the rest of the world has. Who is responsible for the terrorist attacks? There are so many attacks that are happening recently in Turkey and then in Berlin. Constantly there is a terror that when the terrorists may come and just blast, and sometimes insensitively it is said, oh, they were supposed to be killed and therefore they died. So it's very insensitive, and there is some truth in that, but it is not the complete truth. And when we understand the concept of karma, we will be able to see this better. If everything is pre-decided, that is one of the things about India in the world, that it said, you are all fatalistic. You always think about that everything is pre-decided. जो कुछ भी होना था सब यहाँ पे लिखा है, या यहाँ पे लिखा है, या कुंडली में लिखा है, या भृगु के पास लिखा है. So if everything is pre-decided, why do I need to do anything? पढ़ाई क्यों करूं मैं? पढ़ाई में लड़ाई हो जाता है. So much struggle to study, and what we expect we never get, and others keep getting ahead of us. So, and this is also a very important question. And if things are just upon me, why is that I am not getting the success that I want? I am working hard. Now this is book distribution marathon. Once when I was distributing Bhagavad Gita in the trains, I gave to a young person, and he said, I don't need God. I'll become successful by my efforts. So I asked him, everybody in this local train that is traveling with you, before you and after you, everybody is working hard. To stay in Bombay and not work hard is not possible. Everybody is working hard, but how many of them actually achieve success? Very few. There is not many Arshad Khans in the world. We all know this Pakistani chai wala. One photographer, she just saw him, liked his bluish eyes, and just kept his photo on Instagram. And overnight this guy became famous. And then there were so many offers for modeling that came, and now he is no more a chai wala. He is a model now, famous model. But not everybody gets that overnight success. What to speak of overnight? Over a decade, 2 decades, 3 decades, we don't get the success. And even if we get the success, we don't know for how long it will last. It may be gone any time. And can we change life by exercise, by medicines, or our efforts? How many of you want to improve your health? कितने लोग अपना स्वास्थ्य को सुधारना चाहते? And if everything is pre-decided, why worry about it? अगर अच्छा होना है, I'll become well. I don't have to stop myself from eating a samosa or a burger or a pizza. Whatever comes in front of me is supposed to be taken. And of course, in some parts of the world, they follow this. Okay, whatever God is sending in front of you, whether it be meat, whether it be anything, because it is coming in front, that means you can take it. And then there are other parts of the world that think that trying to change what God has given you, say you are born blind or with some disease or some disease that has come up, to take medicine is to go against the will of God. And taking medicine was considered to be a sin. That's how it is called medicine. And many of the medicine is also named after sin. Crocin, terramycin, and so on and on. So there was a logic behind this, that God has given you this body, He wants you to suffer this way. He wants you to be poor, He wants you to be in this hard struggle in a marriage or different thing, different situation, and you should not try to change it. Otherwise, why would our God put you in this situation? And this is not what Bhagavad Gita teaches. And this is a question that is there. So if everything is dependent upon me, then where does God come into picture? Where does this astrology and all these other things come into picture? So of course, we can't understand or know everything about the world just based on upon our attitude and our aptitude. Now, aptitude is your mental capacity. Did anybody score 100 out of 100 in your subjects, in everything? No. That's one small textbook that you had. Even that was a nightmare for you. Now, what to speak of the whole universe? What to speak of the whole knowledge that is there that has to be mastered? So, one thing that we have to understand is that I may want to understand the answers to all this, but to have the ability, aptitude to be able to know it. We may just see one thing. Like once a Discovery Channel person, he was trying to make a documentary about the villages of India. So when he went to one village, he went to a goshala or a house where there was a cow that was tied next to outside the house. Typical scene in India. And there was a lot of paddies, cow paddies on the wall. Dekhte hai na? On the wall there is cow paddies. So the Discovery reporter, he just stood there staring for hours. And he saw the cow was taking out the dung. It was exiting the dung. but the dung was falling on the ground. So one person came and said, "What is your doubt?" He said, "How come the dung came on the wall? Did itself eject it? And if it ejected, what force, what is the velocity in which it has to eject? And it's not that there was a big lump and there is finely made things." So then the guy has to tell, if you want to understand this science, you should come in the morning. So he came the next day morning, and in the morning the cow went for its morning duties, and then the lady that was cleaning the place, she just took the dung, made nice balls, and with that she just made a cow paddies on the wall. Then he understood, oh, this is how it has happened. It is not by some propulsion, some big bang, that there was cow paddies on the wall. So there are so many missing factors that at this stage with our capacity, we may not be able to understand. And for us to be arrogant, to think that, okay, I can understand everything, is not right. Therefore, some of the greatest thinkers, they always are humble. And because they are humble, thinking that I know nothing, therefore they can learn a lot. Just like a child. Now a child, he accepts or he knows that I don't know anything. And because he is in that mood, everything he is observing very carefully. And if he can't understand something, he inquires. And through inquiry, through humility, pranipat and pariprashna, he starts to know about the world. But as he grows up, he starts to become arrogant. And the more arrogant someone is, thinking that I already know, the more difficult it is to know. So therefore, because of the not having proper aptitude and proper attitude, we may not be able to understand the whole karma theory completely. But what the Bhagavad Gita is presenting are the laws and the principles on which the karma factor works. The Bhagavad Gita will not answer why I was beaten in this place. Which karma acted at this point of time. But what it will answer is, you had beaten someone in the past and it's back. And that karma has come back to someone else. As it is said in the space, up where above ionosphere, if you shoot a bullet, then because of the gravitational pull, that bullet will travel all across the earth and then will come and shoot you only. It will come and hit you from the back. So this is law of karma. That whatever you do, whatever choices you make, for every choice there is a consequence. And the whole law of karma is about making the right choices, knowing the consequences well. And if we ignore the consequences and just make the choices based on what we feel and what we like, we may actually end up in a mess. So there are 3 circles of life. There is the circle of concern. The circle of concern is about everything you are concerned about. Like it is said, the husband is concerned about the nation and the wife is concerned about the house. He keeps thinking he's watching 24 hours news. Like a husband was watching some TV, some news. Some attack has happened and is totally watching. And the wife comes and tells him, today is Sunday and our fan is making noise. रात को सोते हैं तो it is making noise. I am not able to sleep nicely. Can you repair it? Can you do something about it? But he was so absorbed, he was so concerned about some country, some attack that has happened. He said that मुझे क्या electrician समझ के रखा है? I am an electrician. You call the electrician, he will do it. And then okay, the wife said okay. Then she came after some time again and she asked him, the fridge door is not closing properly. Something has happened, it is not able to close, because of that all the coldness is going out. Can you repair it? Can you do something about it? Again he got angry. Do you think I am a AC mechanic or some refrigerator mechanic? Go and call that guy. Third time, the same day, it was a row house, there were some stairs and there was some issue in the stairs. And the wife came and said, will you at least repair the stairs? The stairs can any time fall away. And again the husband said, I am not a carpenter. मुझे carpenter समझा है. I will not do. You go and call the carpenter. And after the whole match, it was lunchtime. And the husband asked, okay, is the lunch ready? So the wife said, ये क्या hotel है क्या? And then he understood. The karma is coming back. So, there is so many things that we are concerned. Usually, the husbands are like that they are concerned about everything else in the world except the house. You are concerned about your job, house, different things. But although we may be concerned about many things, there are only some things that you have some influence on. This is known as the circular influence, that is quite small. Now, there is some blizzard that is happening somewhere. We may be concerned about it, but do we have any influence on it? Can we change the weather? Can we change the situation? Not every time we can change. There's something that are definitely in your influence. Say your child is not studying well. Now it is your concern, but it is also, there is some influence. You can try to tell him, you can talk to him what is the importance of studying or different things. But there is another circle, that is circle of control. Now the circle of control is totally in your hands. Nobody else is in control of that thing. For example, what food you eat. Do you eat a high cholesterol food or do you eat a simple food? Whose control is in it? Some of you may say it's a control of my wife. Whatever she cooks, I have to eat. Or what time you get up? You want to get up at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. And getting up is totally in the circle of control. And sleeping time is also in your control. Of course, in some days it may not be, but most of the days these gadgets, you are just lying down there and for hours you are just watching some video or something. So what is in our control, we have to be concerned about that, rather than trying to control something that is beyond our reach. And like currently the whole demonetization thing. Some are trying to, there are so many lobbies trying to against and for it. And somebody sent me that nowadays if you want to go to ATM, you have to pack lunch and dinner and go. And another definition of ATM after this has come as आएगा तो मिलेगा. ATM. If it comes, the money it will. I was at one airport, just outside at the terminal just before catching the flight, and then there was a ATM there. And all the passengers, instead of putting the line for getting on the flight, there was more line for the ATM, cash. And then the air hostess had to announce that please board the flight. The ATM, you can said इतना कम लाइन और कहाँ मिलेगा, बाहर तो बड़ा बड़ा लाइन है. And then someone else said that one famous movie dialogue has been asked as soon as someone comes home, कितने लोग थे या कितने आदमी थे. So these things are not in our control, but like Amul, now this Amul company, all their milkmen, they are all based on cash. They get paid in cash, and because of this crunch, it's not that Amul stopped their payment. What Amul did was that it opened bank accounts for all the milkmen. Jitne bhi milkmen the, it opened accounts and it started transferring all the salary into their accounts. So something is beyond our control, we keep crying about it or we keep cribbing about it. But when we understand the principle of choice and consequence, what is in our control and what is beyond our control, then we do what we can do and hope and pray that situations will improve. So therefore it is said, the response to situation is definitely in our ability, and reaction is not the law of karma. When we understand the law of karma, it is supposed to make us more responsible. And the aspect of reaction, we'll watch a video, short video, realistic video about this reaction and response. There was this cockroach theory. You all heard about this cockroach theory? That in a hotel, that's not Govinda's, but in some other hotel, as a family was sitting and trying to have lunch, a cockroach landed on the airport, on the table. And immediately the wife, she freaked out and she started shouting, remove this cockroach, nikalo isko. And to her more terror, that cockroach, its next destination was on her body. It flew and landed on her body. Now this time she got up and stood on the table and started dancing. Remove the cockroach, remove the cockroach. And then the waiter came. I think he was used to cockroaches. He picked the cockroach with the moustache. They have this big moustache, and took it out and just placed it. Na baad mein aana, abhi nahi. So the theory was that now the reaction of this lady, was it because of cockroach? If it is because of cockroach, then there was this other person who was also seeing the cockroach. He didn't react that way. It is the reaction is our ability or our lack of ability to handle the situation. When we are not able to handle the situation, how do you react. And usually that is how there was a there is a story about Mahatma Gandhi, that Mahatma Gandhi's great grandson, he tells this story that once when he and his father went to a town to do some shopping and something. He told his son that you wait here, I'll come after this sometime. And this son, instead of waiting there, thought 3-4 घंटा है, एक मूवी हो जाएगा. So he went and he came. He was so absorbed in the movie that he came late. And his father asked him, I have been waiting for you here. Where were you? And he said, I went here, that place. He said, I knew that place. I went there and checked. You were not there. So then he had no other answer. And then he said, sorry, I did this. And then the father, instead of scolding him, he took the responsibility on himself. That there is something in me, that something that in me that you don't trust, because of which you are telling lie to me. If you knew that I have the ability to handle whatever you tell me, if you have that trust, then you would have told me. And because you don't have the trust in me, the fault is not in you, but in me. And because the fault is in me, let me take the punishment. Because whoever is faulty will take the punishment. Usually when as soon as we get to know कि बच्चा ने झूठ बोला, usual reaction is that the child gets beaten up. But here he took upon himself this responsibility. He said, because of this, I will not drive home. I will walk home. You go. You go driving. And he walked almost 5 miles walking. And how could his son just leave him? So he was also going behind him and trying to convince. And then his great grandson tells this lesson that if he had just beaten me, I would not have learned the lesson so well as when he took that responsibility upon himself. They call this as non-violent communication or punishment. You have not punished the person, but by taking upon yourself, you have given him a bigger lesson. So same way, when when we respond, understanding that he is only the medium by which I am getting back what I am supposed to get back, then when we don't blame the person, but we take responsibility upon ourselves. Otherwise, we are constantly trying to blame the situation. So there are at every point there are these choice doors. Which door to open? The door of blaming or the door of taking self-awareness, self-responsibility. And the law of karma, once we understand, we don't blame, like Srila Prabhupada always used to say, do not blame the instrument of your karma. Whatever is coming, someone is doing something to you, don't be angry at him, because he is only an instrument. Now this theory we should not apply in the reverse order. You beat someone else and you say, I am only the instrument of your karma. Every theory has its place where you have to apply. And same way, this law of karma is to apply for what is happening with one's life. Or even if someone is in agony or someone is inquiring, it is supposed to be applied. Law of karma is not there to judge. Okay, he is in this situation, therefore he is done bad karma or he has done good karma. When you start judging using the law of karma, it is said that is the duty of Yamadutas. Yamadutas, they analyze everyone else by their karma history. But the aspect of Vishnuduta is that they see hope, that has this person done something, like this famous story of Ajamil. Now in the story of Ajamil, the Yamadutas came because the he was supposed to have that reaction because whole life he has spent sinfully. And there are three ways by which we commit sinful activities. That is through body, mind and words. And because of that, the three Yamadutas came to take Ajamil back to the hellish planets. Once a man was dying, and as he was dying, he told his wife that you please stack all the wealth, that all the gold that we have into a sack, a bag banao, a backpack, and please keep it on the penthouse, the top house of the terrace, so that when I die and when they're taking me up, then I can pick it up. Usually we do that. Door के पास रख देते, कुछ चीज लेके जाना है, and in case we may forget, we'll keep it near the door. Sir, that is रास्ता तो वो है. So keep it, and I'll take it with me on the way. And then the man died. And after he died and after the ceremony was done, the wife went to check. लेके गया कि नहीं? So she went up and she saw it was still there. So the wife thought, I knew it. I should have kept it in the basement. Because the way he has led his life, there was no way he would have gone to heaven. He would have gone down only to the hell. So Ajamil was going down to the hellish planets. But somehow by causeless mercy, he remembered the name of Narayan at the end. And he chanted loudly, that too indicating to his son, Narayan. And when he chanted the name of Narayan, the name of Lord Krishna is so powerful that agam dunvanti kasneya niharam iva bhaskara. If there is darkness in some place for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 100 years, no matter since how long the darkness has been there, but once you light the candle there, or you bring a torch there, thousands of years of darkness will immediately go within a split of a second. Same way is the power of the holy name of Krishna. No matter how many years of ignorance we may have led, by one pure chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, we can easily, the darkness is immediately removed. And immediately Vishnudutas came there. And how many Vishnudutas came? 4. Gaurampu usually tells that we have not heard of Vishnuduta, Yamaduta. Previously there used to be this Yamaha. We have only heard of Yamaha and Rajdut. But this Yamadut, Vishnudut is new concept for us. And there are accounts of devotees that I actually seen Yamadutas taking someone else. So there is the power of the holy name of Krishna, or contact with Krishna, that no matter how complicated our karma can be, it can be immediately taken off if we make the right choice. So life looks to be topsy-turvy, but we just need to look life from the right angle of vision, and then everything appears to be in place. Now, now the last few weeks we have been discussing about the 5 topics of the Bhagavad Gita: Ishvara, Kala, Prakriti, Jiva, and in between there was a whole recap summary of the 18 chapters of the Gita on the day of Mokshada Ekadashi. And today happens to be the last discussion on karma, and karma is so elaborate, so many principles, it is difficult to cover everything within 1 hour, but I will give a complete picture of where all these 5 stand with a chart that I had made. What yeah. So this is the 5 topics of the Bhagavad Gita, just put in a chart form as a summary. And Srila Prabhupada calls the 5 topics of the Bhagavad Gita as this is the 5 topics of knowledge that are there. Knowledge, if it is divided, there are only these 5 things if somebody understands clearly. Like I said, fundays. So these are the 5 fundays one needs to understand if you want to live well and live well. Else, most of the times, life ends with a regret. So, as per science, there was time. If you ask a question, how did time get created? They say time exists, you have to assume. How can time get created? Time exists, and at some point of time, there was a Big Bang, there was some explosion, and that's how the Prakriti matter appeared. After the Big Bang, after millions of years, the planets, the galaxies, and the Milky Way, everything has been formed just after a bang. This is what the scientists try to explain when they try to look at reality. Okay, how did life come? Now that also they say, okay, life also came through the combination of Kala and Prakriti. That after millions of years of time, the universe started settling down, and then there were clouds that formed, and there were rains, and when there were huge rains, then the oceans were formed, and at the bottom of the ocean there was some combination of different chemicals that came together, and then the first unicellular organism was born that was conscious of itself, and slowly life started emerging. So that is the explanation by science that life or jiva is also coming from matter. That's why Prabhupada wrote that famous book that life comes from life. Life doesn't come from chemicals, because chemicals don't have any emotions. But humans have emotions. With some there is exothermic reactions. Though log paas mein aayenge, then they can't handle. And love is endothermic. जितना भी गुस्सा था सब निकल जाता है. All the heat goes away. So life is not just chemical reactions. There are so many emotions that are there, and not everybody experiences the same emotion. Now we are all sitting here in the air-conditioned room, temple hall. Some are feeling, let the lecture go on, because nice AC is going on. Some are feeling, let the lecture end soon, because down hot prasad is waiting. So I am more interested in that, because अभी जाऊंगा तो ना एसी भी मिलेगा ना प्रसाद में मिलेगा. So better I sit in the waiting room, AC waiting room, and then I'll go down for catching my plate of prasad. So so life is not just chemicals, just a combination of physical matter, but there is emotions, there is love, there is hate. But science tries to explain all that through different hormones, different types of chemicals, and they try to inject those chemicals if you feel depressed, if you feel morose. They say आपके brain में cortisol कम है या dopamine कम है, and you take these tablets, and if you take this tablet you will feel good. But that is artificially done. After some time, if you don't take that, you will feel more bad, because now the brain has stopped to create out of its own thing, because there was some stimulus that is kept. Therefore, all these addictions, initially they appear to be helping. Later they make you helpless. Initially they are helpful, but later you are helpless. Without them you can't. I know of some people, without taking that 10 ml of hot tea, their morning rituals don't start. There is no, that is hartal inside. They have to take that 10 ml. Why? Because body has become addicted, or they get headache, different things. And this has not helped the world, this limited explanation, because with matter we can't explain, as I said, emotions, why somebody is rich, somebody is poor, why some places are very beautiful, why some places are not beautiful, how did everything come. You all know this, that when something, say somebody is going on a ferry-go-round, and if somebody falls out, he'll fall out in the same direction as the ferry wheel. ऐसा घूम रहा है. And if something leaves, like sometimes in our kirtan, somebody is rotating, and उनके हाथ से या bead bag or mobile, if it flies off, it will fly out in the same direction. The same way, if all the planets came out of a big bang, then all the planets should be moving in the same direction. But not all the planets are moving the same direction. There are some planets that are moving in the opposite direction. So how did that happen? There is no explanation. Like that, there are many scientific, emotional, life related, why is there death? So that's where many religions that come into picture, and they try to say that matter didn't create life, matter timed. It is not just by time that things have evolved. It is that one God that is there in the heavens that has created the world. He has created time. He is the creator of time. He is the creator of matter, and He is the creator of life. And now another set of questions start emerging. Okay, if He has created everything, then why did He not give me enough brain to solve my problems? Somebody can easily solve his problems. Somebody is rich, somebody is poor, somebody is diseased, somebody dies young. So why did He create inequality in this world? So for this, the whole blame is put on God. God is impartial. He is unhappy with me. Therefore He has put me into this situation. Or He is happy with me. Therefore He has made me rich. Because I am rich means that God is very happy with me. Because I am poor means that God is very unhappy with me. So this, although apparently is explaining why is there inequality, but it is making God into a very jealous person, somebody who is partial, and anywhere where there is partiality among the same children, that kind of father is not so appreciated. The same way, so people have questions now about God, that why did God create suffering? Why is there suffering in this world? And that's where the Bhagavad Gita completes this picture, completes this equation or molecule by bringing karma into the picture. That there is some, it has shrunken up, you may not be able to see, but the below one is the karma. That when a jiva, when a pure spirit soul, when he enters into this material world, along with him or connected to him, there is a account of karma. The number he doesn't know, he can't access. He is only given the returns, and whatever he is depositing, he can't see how much is deposited. There is a hidden secret bank account that is there, and based on what your karma is or karma credit is, you are put into that kind of situation. So this is the complete picture, that it is not God that is to be blamed for our situation, it is our karma which is our own doing. Like it is said, karma is like a hotel where where there is no menu card. You get what you deserve. Whatever you deserve, that is served to you. And when we understand the principle of karma properly, then the blame is not put on God, and neither the God is totally out of picture. Krishna or God is very much in the picture, but he is not directly controlling what is coming to us or not. And usually when somebody comes to religion or any kind of spirituality, he starts believing or thinking that everything is based on coming from God. He is the one who is doing everything. Like it is said, not even a blade of grass moves without the will of God. So therefore, I depend totally on God and I don't work. And people become very irresponsible. So when you take only God into picture, that God is doing everything, I don't have to do anything, then that is irresponsibility. And classical case is Duryodhan. Duryodhan, when Lord Krishna came to Hastinapur to make the peace proposal at the end, as Shanti Dut, he was trying to convince Duryodhan that just give them 5 villages. They don't want much, just give them 5 villages. But Duryodhana was not budging an inch, and he quotes a famous shloka which reveals what is his mentality. He says, Janame dharmam nachame pravritti. He says to Krishna, Krishna, you don't think that I don't know dharma. Janame dharmam. I know dharma. I know what is right. But nachame pravritti. But I don't have desire to do it. मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगता है. I know I have to chant or go to the temple. But क्या करें? Desire नहीं है. I don't like to do it. That is one of the reasons if you ask anybody, why don't you chant, why don't you come to the temple? Oh, मजा नहीं आता. I don't like. And he said, Janami adharmam. Okay, dharma नहीं कर रहे हो, at least adharma मत करो. Don't insult Draupadi and don't kill, don't try to kill. So he says, Janami adharmam. He says, I know what is adharma also. But nachame nivritti. And he says, but I like to do it. I know that the glass of wine that is there in front of me is not divine. It is sin. It can lead to me to bondage. But what to do? I like the taste of it, or I like whatever in movies in the theaters going on, different things. So this is the classic argument, that I know what is right, but I don't like to do it. I know what is not right, what is wrong, but I don't like to do it. So till here it's fine. You are just honest about yourself. But the next line that he says, Tvaya Rishikesha Hridistitena. Duryodhana says, Oh Krishna, you are Rishikesh, Tvaya Rishikesha Hridistitena. You are sitting in my heart. And who are you? You are Rishikesh. Rishikesh means one who is a controller of the senses. And as you are directing, I am doing. Because you are the controller of my senses, of everyone's senses. आप जैसा करा रहे हैं, हम वैसा कर रहे हैं. हमारा क्या गलती है? You are at fault. So if anything happens, God is at fault. And if I am not doing anything, because God is supposed to do. वही सब कुछ तो करते हैं. I don't want to disturb his plan. So therefore I am sleeping. So usually that is a blame that is put on devotees or on those who are spiritualists, that as soon as you take to spiritual path, you start becoming lazy. You start neglecting your studies, you start neglecting your family, you start neglecting your job. भगवान के लिए इतना कर रहा हूं तो सब कुछ संभाल लेंगे वो. He'll take care of my family. He has put you there to take care of the family as his instrument. Not that he'll directly intervene. Or in a society, okay, they are all doing so much service, Krishna will take care of them. I don't have to worry. So that is fatalism or God-centric without understanding the responsibility karma. Then we become lazy. And there are many, this is those who take to spiritual path and don't understand the law of karma properly. They put too much dependence, artificial dependence on God. That Krishna wants us to be responsible. Therefore, when Arjuna said, I don't want to fight, and he says, Arjuna uses many different words to tell. One of the words he uses is, Oh Krishna, you are known as Madhusudana. Madhusudan means one who has killed the demon Madhu. But you are telling me to kill my uncle, my teacher. You are not known as Sandipani Muni Sudana. But you are telling me to kill Drona. You are not known as Ugrasena Sudana. You have not killed your grandfather. But you are telling me to kill my grandfather. So the weight, when it shifts towards God in our duties, then we become lazy. And same way, there are 95% of the people in the world that just think everything can happen just by my karma or my efforts. That if you have the will to do it, then you will do it. And there are so many motivational speakers that push, pull up, push, raise your adrenaline. Yes, you can achieve it. You just have to conceive it, and so many things. And we get carried away with it. Yes, I can do it. And if you become successful upon your efforts and thinking that it is only by your efforts, then the issue is that you become very arrogant. So, and for spiritual advancement, both are dangerous. Egotism and lethargy. Egotism is ahankar, that I am the doer, that is only focusing on karma. And lethargy, laziness is I am not the doer. So both are wrong. I am the doer, I am not the doer. Both are wrong. As it is said, we are the participants in success, we are not the owners of success. Yes, we definitely play a part, and this is the last thing I want to focus. I'll skip this. Krishna calls at the end of Bhagavad Gita this amazing verse about if you want to be successful in life, then we need to understand this verse. Adhishtanam tata karta karanam cha pratak vidam vividascha pratak cheshta daivam chaivatra panchamam. So there are 5 aspects that are there in the Bhagavad Gita, and especially in terms of karma. Adhishtanam, place of action. If you want to be successful in anything, you should know that the place plays a very important part. Where are you trying to do that action? That's why Dhritarashtra was very much worried when Krishna chose the place of action as Kurukshetra. Because he knew the first factor of success is place of action. Because every place has a vibration, a power. If you want to study physics and you sit in JJ Medical Hospital, will it be easy to study? No. Every place has therefore we join some libraries, some clubs if you want. So and same way, the society of devotees is formed because by coming here, you get the impetus. Say you are all alone in some other city, town. I met one devotee. She was chanting 16 rounds, but now after marriage, she is in some part of the world where there are no devotees. And it is very difficult to chant 16 rounds. Why? Because the place is not conducive. Even if you want to do business, you should first survey your market. That is the place proper for doing my business. You can't sell toilet paper in India because it doesn't sell. Only very few places it is sold. And you can't sell what you sell here in Africa. So every place has its demands, has its needs. So Adhishtanam, Krishna says that if you want to have good crop, you may do many yagyas, you may do many things, but you should also survey the field. Is this field croppable, or is it ripe? Is it good? And next is the karta, performer. The place is very good, but who is going to do that action? The karta, the person. Is that person having the right set of skills, or is he properly prepared? Like the story is told about one salesman was sent to Africa, to one island, to sell shoes. And he came back and he said, we can't sell shoes there because nobody wears shoes there. वहाँ पे कोई पहनता ही नहीं. So there is no market there. Then another salesman was sent there, and this salesman came, he said, there is 100% market for shoes because nobody wears shoes, and so therefore there are no shops. If we promote slowly, for sure there will be enough market. Like India. Now in India, nobody drank tea in 1930s, 20s. So in Calcutta, the history says that when the Britishers came, anywhere in the world, tea means it's always black. This concept of milk, mixing decoction and milk is only unique to India. So in Calcutta, the British government had to open lot of free tea stalls that come and drink tea here and it's free. Now usual Indian mentality is जहाँ पे कुछ भी फुकट वहाँ पे हम प्रकट. Anything you get free somewhere, immediately there is big line. We wanted to distribute our Bhagavad Gita freely to the villages, some places. And we went, and as soon as we announced free, there is no rules followed. Everybody was just trying to take. Some people were taking 10 Bhagavad Gitas. घर में कितने लोग हैं? 2 लोग हैं. But they want 10 because it is free. So then we have to keep some nominal charge, 10 rupees, 15 rupees, 20 rupees. So at least they take जितना actually ज़रूरत है. So the free tea stalls were opened by the British. And there was a lot of milk and small tea. So it was said it is just milk only, some kind of new type of milk. Then people started drinking, and as started drinking slowly. Now it has become the culture of India. Like any house you go, hi, chai and bhai. The chai to pina hi padega aapko. It was not there, but it was somehow introduced. So the place and the karta, who is the person who is performing that activity? What is his capacity? What is his abilities? And then karanam, instruments. What are the instruments that are available? The field is very good. The farmer is also well eaten, strong, nourished, but he doesn't have a bull or a tractor. Now if he doesn't have instruments, he can't plow the field, he can't put the seeds. So the instruments are also needed. And this, what type of instruments we get in our life is based on our karma and other factors. And finally the cheshta, endeavor. Now endeavor is where it starts to become not an aspect of karma, but your own free will to be able to actually put the heart into it. So many students, sometimes the rich students, they don't score as well, although they have all the books, because they didn't put the endeavor. Cheshta kiya hi nahi. Or the bead bag is there, or the everything is there, all the instruments are there, but there is no impetus or there is no effort put into that. So the effort is also important. And once these 4 are there, and if Krishna's mercy or the Daiva factor also comes, then that is, because even after having all the instruments properly, the place is ripe, everything is set, there is this unknown cause, the factor of God, which also has to be taken into account. And once that is in place, then the success is in hands. Otherwise, if any of these 5 things are not out of place, the whole support of Krishna is there, but you are not putting any endeavor. You can't blame Krishna. I didn't become pure devotee because Krishna didn't give me mercy. Like Prabhupada was asked, Prabhupada, please give your mercy. So Prabhupada said, I have already given my books. My books are my mercy. Now take it and read it and distribute it. But still, oh Prabhupada, we can definitely ask Prabhupada for mercy to able to read, apply, understand the books, but we can't neglect. So any of these 5 factors, if they are here and there, then we can't. And the most important of this is the Daiva factor that I represent with the thumb. Why the thumb? Because of all the fingers, the thumb is the most important. Without the thumb, you can't do anything. Now today you'll go and take prasad. Everyone will take prasad today. Try to eat the food without your thumb. खा पाएंगे? Maybe if you are a South Indian like this, and I am a South Indian, but even I use my thumb. You can't button your shirt without your thumb. Can you? You need the thumb. You can't write, you can't catch, you can't type on your mobile. Anything. बाकी कोई फिंगर में कुछ समस्या हो वो थोड़ा चल जाएगा. Say I without using this any of the middle finger, I can still maybe eat my prasad. But if something happens to this, life becomes very difficult. So therefore, along with trying to get effort, the karma aspect, the four things, we should also try to get the mercy of Krishna. And once that thing is strong, and once we at the end of life, like Gajendra, now the situation in which he was facing the crocodile was definitely his karma, that he had done some aparad, the Uhu and Indradumna Maharaj. But when it caught, he didn't start, he was not in the circle of concern or the influence, oh, why did this crocodile come? But he just analyzed, now in this situation, what is in my control? My body is not in my control. My body is caught by that crocodile. But what is in my control is my will to pray to God, to pray to Krishna. And with that desire, he picked up a lotus flower, whatever was close, and then just offered to Krishna. And Krishna comes and he saves the Gajendra. So no matter how much we are caught by the crocodile of karma, how much we are implicated, if we take the fifth factor seriously, Krishna factor, then big oceans can be crossed by his mercy. Otherwise, even in small things, life will be gone. Some people end their life fighting a court case. So much court case is going on that there is nothing else that can be done about life. So rather than getting implicated, complicated in the web of karma, let us try to take shelter of Krishna, because by taking shelter of Krishna, like the Brahma Samhita says, karmani nirdahati kintuta bhakti bhajam, that the karma is burnt to ashes when by the power of bhakti, that is like a fire. So thank you very much for your kind attendance and patience for hearing. There are many aspects about karma, the instant, delayed, all the that is generally we cover in the journey of self-discovery course. But here I just want to discuss something that is very relevant and applicable for devotees. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki.
Hare Krishna.